Welcome to Discovering the Northwoods from the Manitowish Waters Historical Society. We will take you on a journey through our local history with the help of primary source documentation. To learn more about this rich history or about the Historical Society, check out our website at mwhistory.org. There you will find blog posts, show notes, our YouTube channel, and a full transcription of this episode. As with many historical works from this era, there are phrases, terms, and descriptions that are inappropriate to our modern sensibilities. The Manitowish Waters Historical Society in no way condones these offensive remarks or passages. The original document is attached in the show notes if you would like to read this publication in its entirety for educational purposes and accurate historic context. By and Large is a story of a canoe voyage aboard a Belle Isle special, described in a 1910 advertisement as the triumph of the canoe builder's art. Swift, strong, safe, durable, easy to paddle, comfortable, graceful. This article was published in the Press of Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1927, and the author is unknown. The story covers all types of adventures, from photographing timber wolves to baking pickerel over open coals, dodging rocks and roaring rapids, and drifting silently past deer on moonlit waters. But this story isn't just about travel, it's about immersion, into the solitude, into the wildness, into the different way of moving through the world, but all under the guise of an advertisement for an excellent canoe. Press of Atlantic City, New Jersey, October 26, 1927. Start of a former sailor in a rowboat on a 1,500-mile trip from New York to Miami yesterday brings back memories of a similar trip years ago in a 17-foot canoe that took up some 4,000 miles from northern Wisconsin down to within a short distance of the Gulf of Mexico, where an attack of malaria brought an end to our expedition, and incidentally, the unofficial long-distancing canoe championship for 1914. It was an interesting trip nevertheless, and the 18 months were crammed with experiences of one kind or another, duly recorded by camera and typewriter for a Sportsman magazine. There being a number of canoe enthusiasts hereabouts, some recollections of the trip may prove interesting and help popularize the canoe as a means for an excellent vacation trip. Having shipped our 17-foot Belle Isle to Manitowish, a little way station in the northernmost part of Wisconsin, on a fine June morning, we launched our frail craft in the Manitowish River, nothing more than a creek, and proceeded south. Soon, the creek grew into a stream of deep and clear water and became the Flambeau River. Giant muskellunge and pickerel darted underneath the canoe, with the stumpier pike and other sweetwater fish easily discernible in the clear water. Our equipment for fishing as well as hunting was complete, and soon our spoon was humming through the water. Baked pickerel baked in coals of a campfire and wrapped in a clay covering tasted very good that night. The territory was complete wilderness, and the nearest habitation was some 100 miles away. The tracks of bear, wolf, and deer were to be found on the riverbank, and both flora and fauna, being seldom disturbed by the hand of man, were both plentiful and varied. Deer were leisurely feeding on the wild rice in the water, and as the current here had the velocity of about 10 miles per hour, dexterous steering with the paddle brought us many times within a few feet of a fine buck, with antlers still covered in skin and hair. Some good close-ups were obtained here of deer, porcupine, marten, different varieties of ducks, and other waterfowl, and once a timber wolf photographed himself at his watering place by tripping the cord that released the camera shutter. Guns and ammunition we had aplenty, of course, but except with the camera, there was no hunting. Other equipment consisted of extra paddles, blankets, a sheet iron stove, a tent, and tent poles, completely filling the canoe and securely latched. And oh yes, there was Jack, our black and white pointer, resting atop the load, the expert canoeist. Jack proved himself useful in many other ways later when June gave way to December, and possum, raccoon, and geese took the place of deer and summer duck. We had been on our way 2 days, and soon the increasing current, necessitating little paddling, and the distant roar announced that we were near the rapids. Picking our way among the rocks as carefully as the 20-mile current would permit us, we negotiated most of the falls without mishap. The one upset came in jumping a little 4-foot fall called Potato Falls near the town of Park Falls, when the bow of the canoe struck a submerged rock and we were unceremoniously dumped in the water. Everything being lashed, we lost nothing but the small camera, and within an hour, everything was dried in the sun and the journey proceeded. Portaging around big falls, camping every night, taking little side trips to some of the numerous lakes, enjoying the fishing, acquiring a sparrow hawk as a mascot, we took 2 weeks to make our way leisurely down the Flambeau and Chippewa rivers, past Ladysmith, Chippewa Falls, Durant, and Trevino, where the broad Mississippi took us upon his bosom with his 4-mile currents. Down the Father of Waters into creeks, the Pecatonica and Rock rivers, back into the Mississippi, portaging over into Little River, Big Lake, Arkansas, St. Francis, etc., is another interesting story. The article serves as a claim for the success of the Belle Isle canoe of 1910, created by the Detroit Boat Company. A 17-foot Belle Isle canoe, like the one used in the article, would have cost $51 in 1910. To place that in context, based on the 1910 catalog of the Capitol Boat and Canoe Works, the price of similar style canoes ranged from $35 to $59. The following description of the Belle Isle canoe comes from an advertisement published by the Detroit Boat Company. The triumph of the canoe builder's art. Swift, safe, strong, durable, easy to paddle, comfortable, graceful. The ribs are the best quality. Tough white cedar, steamed for bending, shaped over solid molds. They are 2.5 inches wide at the center, tapered to 1 inch. At the gunnel are 3/8 inch thick, and spaced from 1.5 to 2.5 inches apart. The special shaping of the ribs have certain actual advantages. By tapering the ribs at the end, the strength is in no manner impaired, and there is no tendency to round up at the bottom, as frequently happens when the ribs containing full width throughout are used. Therefore, the Detroit canoe always retains its original form and symmetrical lines, which is impossible of any canoe not using our special tapered ribs. For planking, a tough, light northern cedar is used in long lengths and suitable widths, and laid very close, making tight joints. It is copper fastened, special canoe tacks being used, which are clinched on the inside of the ribs. The gunnels are made of the best quality mahogany running full length. After decks are put in, finishing rails are also run full length, capping gunnels and neatly finished side rails, giving the whole a very handsome effect. Stems are the select straight-grained white oak, steam bent to shape and curved neatly at the top to meet the gunnels and the deck. The thwarts are the best quality oak or ash, unless otherwise specified. 2 in each canoe, and when ordered specially, an extra middle thwart can be installed at a small extra charge, which may be found useful in carrying. For seats, there are 2 hard cane seats, one at the bow and one at the stern of each canoe. For canvas and filling, after the hulls have been carefully smoothed up and sanded, they are thoroughly oiled inside and outside before canvassing. This prevents the wood from becoming water-soaked and ensures it retains its lightness, besides preserving the wood and giving a long life to the canoe. They are then covered with first-class heavy-weight cotton duck, which is stretched perfectly tight and well fastened at ends and rails. Canvas is one seamless piece. The canvas is then treated with our special oil composition, ironed in, thoroughly filling the pores and making the canoe perfectly waterproof. Our regular Belle Isle canoes are equipped with a 1-inch oak keel. This adds strength and durability and acts as a protection in handling. We guarantee Detroit canoes will be free from defects in material and workmanship. This advertisement from 1910 shows the confidence the Detroit Boat Company had in the Belle Isle canoe. The canoe is named after a park nestled on the Detroit River. Belle Isle Park is a 982-acre island park, one of the largest city-owned island parks in the United States. It's home to lush woods, historic architecture, and winding canals that once made it a Midwestern paradise for canoeing. Originally settled by French colonists in the 1700s and known then as Île aux Cochons, or Hog Island, Belle Isle has undergone many transformations. In 1879, the city of Detroit officially acquired it, and by the late 19th century, famed landscape architect Frederick Law Olmsted, best known for designing Central Park, was brought in to reimagine the island as a public escape from the bustling industrial city. One of the island's most iconic features was its man-made canals. Built between 1893 and 1910, these meandering waterways invited thousands to explore Belle Isle by canoe. By the early 1900s, canoeing was the pastime. A 1909 postcard even read, "Canoeing is the leading sport at Belle Isle, where light craft cruise about by the thousands." Evenings were especially magical. Imagine gliding silently along a canal as a summer band concert echoed through the trees, a peaceful blend of nature, music, and community. This wasn't just recreation, it was a shared experience and a ritual of city life that offered a reprieve from Detroit's growing industrial grind. A series of photographs from the Wooden Canoe Museum showcase a beautifully outfitted canoe, clearly designed for more than just paddling. It's loaded with accessories from soft pillows and backrests to a rope bumper wrapped around its side. Sitting proudly on the bow seat is a Victrola ready to provide music for the outing. And no day on the water would be complete without a picnic lunch tucked behind the young girl and her doll, ready to enjoy the adventure. Belle Isle Park is a treasure trove of history. It's home to the Belle Isle Aquarium, the historic Anna Scribes Whitcomb Conservatory, the Dawson Great Lakes Museum, and the James Scott Memorial Fountain. There's also a beach, a golf course, a Coast Guard station, and trails to explore on foot or by paddle. Connected to mainland Detroit by the MacArthur Bridge, Belle Isle still remains a gathering place for residents and visitors alike. Today, though motorboats and kayaks have joined the mix, canoeing is still relevant, like it was in the 1927 article, by and large.